how it shows up when I'm live. See that? It shows up like that, so you can tell when I'm live. Do you see anyone in there?
I'm sorry?
Can you go there and see if you see anyone in there?
I still.
No, in here. See if anyone's in here. I can't see it. Okay. Like it.
I'm sorry?
What's up? What's up? My TCG fam, this is April. And come on in, my TCG fam. So I'm riding on the road and, I'm doing what everyone else is doing in our camp, waiting on the jury to deliberate in this trial, YSL trial, of course. And I just want to come on and see how everyone think it's going to go. Because, I mean, there's been a lot of things that have come up. You have the closing arguments that everyone has their different opinions. You know what I'm saying? So my opinion could be different than a lot of yours. So I just wanted to get on here and wanted to see what I just wanted to have a discussion about it. Like, for example, Weinstein, in his closing argument, he actually thought, in my opinion, he thought that he was doing something that was going to be an advantage, bringing up the state coming after people of color. But I think it backfired on him. I really do. I think that he should not have brought it up. The way that Hilton, the other day, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. The way that Hilton came back in her closing from him bringing up race, because he opened the door. You don't, like, you know how we are as black people. You don't open the door for us to talk about how unfair things are for black people. You don't open that door. So him being Caucasian and opening that door, I don't think that was the right thing. Because Hilton, to me, a lot of people saying he was good to bring it up. In my opinion, the way that Hilton came back after him, saying, yeah, people of color is who YSL is hurting in the community. People of color. So, and we've talked about black on black crime for many years. So I was like, ooh, he kind of hurt. It completely backfired on him, in my opinion. So I don't think he should have brought that up. I think that Hilton's closing arguments, now throughout the trial, I don't think the state of Georgia had the proper evidence to even charge these folks with these crimes. They made some small crimes, some little, minor misdemeanor type crimes, and they tried to make it into these huge felonies. That's what they did. So like possession of this, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And they tried to make it into RICO and murder and all this stuff that they don't have evidence of, regardless of what these folks, regardless, honestly, if they did it or not, if they did these things or not, the state has to prove the case. The state, I don't care if they said it a million times in their songs, the state still has to prove their case. And throughout the trial, they just didn't have the evidence to prove that these people are guilty. Um, so Miss Hilton had to come strong with her closing for them to even have a slight chance. And she did come strong in her closing. We saw Miss Hilton that we haven't seen during this whole trial. We saw a side of Miss Hilton. She should have brought that hunger, and she did. I guess in her own way. But yeah, we saw something. She took her hat off. She let her hair down in that closing. I liked it, even though I don't think that the jury should find these folks guilty. But I do think it was a strong closing for Miss Hilton. And honestly, I honestly think that Miss Hilton should have been over, as far as the state is concerned. Miss Hilton should have been over the head DA over it as far as inside of the courtroom versus Miss Love. Miss Love is I don't know. I don't know. I can't even talk about her anymore. But yeah, so and then I was surprised this morning about when the jury came back asking questions and wanting to see Yak. Oh my goodness, wanting to see Yak get in the car. Wonder why. What are they observing? What did they observe? What are they looking for? I wish I was in that room, right? I wish I was in that room. I want to know what is being said. What did they need that for? And I watched when they replayed it for them in the courtroom this morning. So I watched. I was like, okay, what was it about Yak getting inside the car? And I just couldn't. I didn't see it. I didn't see. Oh, I know what it was. It could have been this, because this is what I was looking for. This is what I noticed. I noticed the only thing I noticed when he was walking, getting in the car, is when he looked over to the right, which, if I'm not mistaken, the right side is where the other car was pulling out of the gas station. So I'm thinking that may be what they wanted to see. Did he look over there? I don't know, but that's the only thing I can think of, because he just, he got in the car like any normal person would. So I wonder what that was about. But I was surprised though. Still, I was surprised. I really thought. I think honestly, if it wasn't for the strong closing that Miss Hilton had, if it wasn't for that strong closing, I think they would have deliberated yesterday not guilty. And that's my opinion. I think they would have deliberated yesterday not guilty, a verdict of not guilty. But I think because Ms. Hilton brought up something that was a strong point, is about the car. When Shard was doing his closing, or cross-examining somebody, Viverito, I think, and the flash that they were talking about from the gun that wasn't shown, that you didn't see in the video. So Ms. Hilton brought up in her closing, if it was the way Shard is saying that it was, where it could have been this car, there was no flashing of a gun on from any of the cars. So that was a strong point that she brought up to kind of trying to shut Shard's point of view down. So that was interesting. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see what the verdict is going to be. Now let's get to the good stuff, because I haven't been on here in a long time, and I want to talk about somebody that I have not been able to talk about with my folks. I want to talk about Kayla Bumpus. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about Kayla Bumpus. Okay. Now, everybody, when this stuff came out about her being married to Shannon, what the world? When this stuff came out, everybody had something to say about Kayla. They were saying negative things. Oh, she's so unprofessional. Oh, she did something wrong. She's illegal. Whatever. All this stuff. Oh, she's a hoe. All these things that people had to say. Well, being the hustler that I am, I'm a hustler. You know, I'm from the trenches, so I know about hustling. Okay. Let me just say this, Kayla, you are smart. Sweetheart, you are smart. Let me tell you why I think she is smart. Because Kayla, she knows, just like she started that YouTube long time ago when I said, okay, she's looking for clout. She wanted to get some clout for her YouTube channel. She was in there trying to stream, and I was like, where'd she come from? All of a sudden, she want this attorney that represented Woody, and now she's got a YouTube channel. She came up out of nowhere, and she's like following the YSL. Well, no, Kayla, she's smart. Kayla's looking out for her bag. Let me tell you why. Kayla knows that this circus of a trial, there's going to be a huge movie. They're going to get a huge movie deal, all these guys, to tell their story. This is going to be a movie. You think Atlanta's not going to produce a movie for this trial? Man, it's already in the works. And Kayla knows it. Kayla knows it, and she's like, I want some of that bag too. She knows that. I want to play Kayla in the movie. I'll play Kayla. How about that? I'll play Kayla. So yeah, she's smart. She's looking out for her bag. But yeah, that was shocking. And I know I'm going way back, but I have not been on here in a while. But I was so shocked when that came out. I didn't even believe it. I was like, they just making stuff up. Oh my God, this circus of a trial. That's how I was saying. I was just like, this circus of a trial. They making stuff up now. Oh, they hating on Kayla. Nobody likes Kayla. Man, when that came out that was true, and the way I found out that it was true, and for me, is when she was there with Shannon's mom on live one night, and she was on there with the two other people, Millionaire Male, and what's the other lady? I can't remember her name, but the other lady was on there. They were on live, the three together. They were on the panel, and Kayla was getting her makeup done, and somebody in the chat had asked a question about Shannon, and the mom spoke. She said something like, "My son, blah blah blah." You remember that? So I was like, "What?" And then Kayla, she was like this. You know what I'm saying? Because that you can't deny that. At that point, you can't deny it, right? So that's how I found out that it was true. But yeah, I don't think she did it. I mean, I don't know I'm not a legal professional, so I don't know if she broke any type of code or I think that would really depend on. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to speak on that because, like I said, I'm not a legal professional. But yeah, she was looking out for her bag because they're about to get one. So yeah, that's what I think about that. I think Kayla is smart, and yeah, I'm gonna email Kayla and ask her if I can be her in the movie, in the YSL movie, YSL Rico movie. Oh my God! And then speaking of Kayla and Shannon, what about, I can't remember the girlfriend. Oh, Shannon, the girlfriend. If y'all tell me that this is not gonna be a movie, this stuff was funny. why in the world did there appear out of nowhere? Because I did not know this person. Yeah, okay. Why did this person appear out of nowhere? She came to the stand with her BBL. That's. I'm sorry, but that's the first thing I saw when she was raising her right hand. Okay, so she comes to the stand, and when they said who she was, and she was like the best one he ever had, I was like, oh my God, if this is not that man, that made it seem so fake. Like this trial has been so crazy and so unbelievable. Like these things are unbelievable that has happened in this trial. Unbelievable, and that is why it's gonna be a movie. Quick, it's gonna be a movie, and it's probably already in the works. And yeah, that's gonna be funny because that right there was crazy. I wish that I could have been inside the courtroom watching Kayla, just seeing Kayla's face when that girl went on the stand and said what she said. I wish I could have seen Kayla's face. And Shannon can't. The not plaintiffs, but uh, the defendants, they can't show like expression, emotion in front of the jury, or they're not supposed to anyway. Um, so he was, Shannon was looking just normal face. He wasn't looking, he couldn't be surprised looking. But I would have loved to feel what he felt inside. Um, he's probably not caring about all that. He wants to be free, so he probably thinking about all that. But yeah, I would have loved to seen Kayla's face when that girl said what she said. It's crazy. It's some crazy stuff. And then somebody said when she was being interviewed that night after she testified that day or the next day, and she was being interviewed by Sylvia. Somebody said that is like supposed to be a normal thing in Atlanta for females to know, like males rather, to have more than one female and the females know about each other. What? Where they do that at? Not the Atlanta I'm from. No, I'm not gonna be. I'm not sharing somebody's man. You have that, and I'm not doing that. So I don't know. I guess that's some different generation or something. If these young girls in their 20s are thinking like that, I don't think too many people are gonna jump on that bandwagon. Atlanta's created a lot of bandwagons, but that one right there, ain't nobody gonna jump on that bandwagon. That's crazy. But yeah, that's gonna be in the movie. And then also, um, what was it? What was I gonna bring up next about the movie? Oh, Viverito. Ah, Viverito. Okay, so before we get into what I was gonna talk about, I'm gonna say this about Viverito. Weinstein actually brought up, that was smart of him to bring up what he brought up about the watch. I'm happy that somebody brought that up in the closing, because the jury, they weren't able to hear all this information, or you know what I'm saying, about this $500,000 watch. So I'm happy that Weinstein brought it up so slick and smooth in his closing, because that stuck in somebody's head about the Atlanta Police Department, right? The Atlanta law enforcement is stuck in somebody's head about how illegal they are. And if, I don't know the jury, I don't know who these people are, or how old they are, or whatever, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if they're from Atlanta, then they know the history of the Atlanta police anyway. Atlanta police, there's been so many raids over the past 20 years maybe, and probably longer than that, I'm sure. As far as I know of, though, past probably 20, a slew of cops have been um, charged and convicted of theft. stealing uh, drugs and money that they confiscated in raids. So they're known for that. So it's not surprising that, well, I'm surprised that they would sit there and this $500,000 watch would just, you know, I'm not surprised. Well, you know what? Under Fannie, with her Fannie, I'm not surprised. I'm not even gonna say I'm surprised because the stuff that that lady has gotten away with, thanks to Trump bringing it out, um, I wouldn't put nothing past Atlanta. They're doing everything that they can to fund. So basically, what this is what I think that they're like. You know, they said that they're not giving his stuff back to him, Young Thug's stuff that they confiscated. Okay, so all these things that's worth all this money. I guarantee you that they're trying to put back into Fulton County what they've spent on this trial. That's what they're doing. They're trying to regain resources so they don't have so much of a loss. But it just all sounds illegal. They need that's a separate movie in itself about the Atlanta police. Fannie, that needs to be a movie. So she tries to prosecute the 45th president, Donald Trump. In the midst of that, Donald Trump's folks pull out her secrets in the closet, her skeletons in the closet, and finds out that she's been having an affair with the lead attorney on the case that's prosecuting Trump, and then paying him more. And then it's they asked for open records. They filed an open records request, trying to get the statements of Fannie's, you know, the what how she spent funds and stuff like that. Then the people, the FOIA officer, he declined, saying they don't have this, they don't have that. Oh, it's been thrown away, or it's nowhere to be found. All that lying Atlanta illegal corrupt stuff. And I'm not gonna say just Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, excuse me, Georgia corrupt stuff that they've been doing all over the state of Georgia. So see, I should have stayed on track. Should have stayed on track. Okay, so why are they putting on brakes? So yeah, Trump people brought out this stuff, and then just a few weeks ago, I think it was founded that the Atlanta decided to keep Young Thug stuff, and then they were saying, I don't know who said this or where this came from, but allegedly Wade was paid right after they said they were gonna keep Young Thug stuff. Atlanta. I mean, it's just some crazy. That's a movie in its own. In its own. That's a movie right there about Fannie and her crooked stuff. Ooh, my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just crazy. This is unbelievable. Whew. I'm like, how in the world? And you know what? I love how Woody came in and brought the information for the Rice Street Jail. And we still gonna talk about Viverito, but Woody opened up the door for investigation. I think Woody started that when he brought into the courtroom how nasty and crazy that the Rice Street Jail is, and how they're torturing those folks and violating health codes, all that stuff. I'm so happy that he brought that out because I think he opened up an investigation. And just like that sheriff coming on the darn news during a press conference a couple of months ago when all those correction officers from the jail walked out because of lack of pay. Oh my God. And then it came out that Fulton County Jail owed that company over $1 million because that company was the one who provided the employees. That's crazy. It's some crazy corrupt stuff. Y'all know it's corrupt. everybody, and I'm so happy this has gotten so big so people can actually see what has been going on in the state of Georgia for a long time, for as long as I can remember. And let's talk about Viverito. So first of all, I don't understand why Detective Gaithers and why Viverito did not want themselves. Well, I know. I'm gonna tell you why they didn't want themselves to be seen. And like I say, look at my description. April TCG. We say what nobody else wants to say. So we see things a little different because we're from the trenches. So we see things a little different than most folks. Okay. Okay. So let's just go ahead and put it out there. So they didn't want to be seen because I think it's because their weight. They're obese. They're morbidly obese women. Bather, she looks like a man, and I don't think she wanted people to see how much of a she's like one of those women that want to be a man. I don't think she will. I think she must be ashamed of herself or something, because I mean she's all over. She everybody knows who she is and how she looks. So I don't get it. And then Viverito, same thing with her. I think because she's morbidly obese, she didn't want people to see how fat she is. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being morbidly obese, fat, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. But when you're ashamed of it, then it is something wrong with it. Then you need to do something about it when you're ashamed of it. And I think that's why they didn't want their faces to be on the camera. But Viverito, let's talk about these people. Now, let me tell you something about these folks that works for the government in the state of Georgia. So they tend to think that they're their own boss. Just like, Hilton said, oh, YSL think they're above the law. No, y'all think y'all above the law. They think they're above the law. The darn law enforcement. They think they're above the law. These detectives, look at what Detective Dennis, he was banned from the courtroom because of the stuff that he was saying. He knows that man has been in law enforcement long enough to know what he is able and what he's not able to say, or what he's supposed to say in a courtroom testifying. That man knows that, but he thought, oh, I'm gonna do what I do all the time, and I'm gonna put my 2 cents in to sway these jurors into showing these folks guilty. That's what he did, and he did it on purpose. And he does it all the time in the past, and nobody stands up and objects to it. But see, these attorneys were good attorneys for the defense, so they stood up and said, hold on, mistrial. You know what I'm saying? So, but Viverito, let's go to her. So yeah, she is in the picture, in the picture with that expensive watch. Okay. And then she gets up there and tries to pretend like allegedly pretend like she don't know what the world happened to this watch. That's crazy. I love the fact that she was in the picture with the watch. It's just crazy. That's what I'm saying about the law enforcement and these public officials in Atlanta and Macon and all these other places in Georgia. So they have they have a lot of nerve. Oh my goodness, they have a lot of nerve. Like, you're in the picture with the watch, and who cares that we there's proof that we got the watch, but we just gonna say we don't know where it is, and that's okay. We want to say that. That's okay. That's how they are. What do you call that? You call that arrogant? They're very arrogant, and they've been getting away with being that way for a long, long time. A long, long time, way before Fannie. And but the what I wanted to bring up about Viverito was her and Kayla. Now, when they add that in the movie, is nobody's gonna they're gonna think that that was like some sort of added piece in the movie. Then people are gonna be like, that did not happen. They exaggerate. That did happen, people. Yeah, Viverito did say allegedly, the last time you called me, oh, that did happen. And she said that to Kayla Bumpus, the attorney that represented Woody when Melnick had to go out of town. He, who is now married to Shannon, like, oh, yeah, all that happened. It happened. It's crazy. That's some crazy stuff. Woo, my goodness, Lord. Man, that's crazy. This is just too funny. This is funny. That is so funny. Oh, let's talk about this morning. All right, so if you noticed, um, if anybody who watches trials, right, notice that people who like have these certain images outside, before they were criminal activity they were charged with. So one, they got, wearing certain clothes. They trying to live up to this little thuggish image, whatever. Okay, then they get in the courtroom and they put on glasses to, to try to clean up their look, because people have been doing this for as long as I can remember. Also, they tend to, like, is that lady that killed her children years and years ago. That lady came in the door in courtroom trying to look, she had her shirt buttoned up here to the top, trying to give that nun look like I'm very innocent. She had her hair pulled back in a ponytail. Like, that's not how she was um, outside of the courtroom. She didn't look nothing like that. So yeah, so folks, they clean up their image inside of the courtroom in front of the jurors, which I would too. If I'm being charged for some crazy stuff, I'm not gonna come looking the way I look out here in the streets. Nope. I'm gonna clean up my image too and make myself. But the funny thing this morning about it is that, come on, slow down, folks, slow down, slow down, slow down. Don't hit me. The funny thing about it is, don't y'all hate that when it looks like the car is not slowing down behind you? Jeez. Anyway, so the funny thing is that this morning, Yak, he had you go back and look at it if you haven't seen it. If you missed it, go back and look at it. Yak had on these glasses, right? This morning. He looks good, his suit looks nice and everything. He's got on the glasses, looking very innocent. Okay. But the funny thing is, Weinstein, he looks over at Yak. And it looks like he said, and I did a little video. Look at my video, as a matter of fact. You'll see. But yeah, he's like, what are you wear glasses? Now I'm just saying what I'm thinking that how the conversation went. I'm guessing. So he's like, you wear glasses? So Yak said, oh no, I just wanted to wear them, right? And then Weinstein look over at the camera like, oh, I can't say it too, what I want to say right now because the camera's right on me. And yeah, okay. So he's turns over. Yeah, let's not make the jurors think that we're trying to trick them or anything. So let's take those off, because it really looks like trying. You're trying. So So Yak takes the glasses off, because in the next scene, if you look at the video that I made, he don't have his glasses on. Those glasses, because I think Weinstein was like, hold on, the juror is going to notice that you popped on these glasses all of a sudden. Then they're going to say, okay, why is he trying to look a certain way and trick us, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that was funny. So I pretty much think that's, I don't know. We're gonna go live again and talk about some stuff, because I have some things jotted down that I really want to talk about. Even after the verdict, we're gonna go back and, oh my gosh, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have some wine. and we're gonna talk about all this whole trial. This has been just the funniest thing I've ever seen in the world of hip hop. This is funny. What is what's happened to our hip hop? Woo! I'm sorry, it's funny. Yeah. You know, back in the day, hip hop was viewed as a cultural thing. It was viewed as like it was viewed as a cultural thing with substance, right? Substance, and with people like tying hip hop to this trial, tying hip hop to certain folks and stuff like that. Like they're making a mockery of hip hop, and hip hop is, the way that we grew up looking at hip hop is like um, it was serious. You know what I'm saying? It was a cultural thing, and we were proud. It made us hold our heads up high, right? So now these clowns, I'm not calling anybody no clown, but oh my goodness, these folks are making a mockery of hip hop. You got people knowing, claiming hip hop, they're hip hop fanatics, even on this app. They don't know what hip hop is all about. Look at what Drake just did. Look at what Drake just did. And this is based off TMZ's story. Drake is suing Universal, or suing Kendrick, no, suing Universal, because he's claiming that Universal, um, I don't know what you call it, like giving extra special promotion. I'm going to say that. That's not the words of why, but it's pretty much that's what it means. So, extra special promotion, like inflating Kendrick's songs over everybody else to make him um, sell and blow up his songs like They Not Like Us, for example. Now, urban politics, urban politics said it best himself the other night. He said Drake is suing them for the same thing that they did for him. They're suing him for doing that with Kendrick when they did the same thing for him. And urban politician, I think. Anyway, I love his point of view on things. I love it. So, and that's a guy. I'm gonna tell you why I love urban politician. I would like to be on a panel with him actually, because that's a true hip hopper in my opinion. Like we're sort of the same. We're similar. I'm a female, and he's a male. True hip hoppers. That's how I see it. That's how I feel. So we would make a good team on a panel. So urban, if you want somebody to be on a panel and give their point of view and talk about stuff, bring me on the panel. I would love to be on your panel. Love it. Anyway, so he was talking about the very thing that blew up Drake is why Drake is suing is the same reason that Drake is suing Universal. So it's just crazy. And they're talking about how like oh my goodness. Mm-mm. It's just crazy. Everybody knows that in the world of hip hop, there's hip hop, and then you got hip hop artists. Some of the hip hop artists wants to be underground, and that's what they choose to be. They refuse to. They don't want to be mainstream. They want to stay underground. Okay, like who was an underground artist? Dawes Effects. For those that know who I'm talking about, Dawes Effects to me wasn't. They were underground artists. So, so some folks choose to stay underground, because of what they talk about and how they want to, they like it's the truth because that's what hip hop was created off of the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's a serious thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, so all this clown stuff is just not what hip hop is all about. But um, since the beginning of time, you've had hip hop artists that are just strictly hip hop, and then hip hop artists that they're still hip hop, but they're like mainstream hip hop. And some back in the day, mainstream hip hop, people would call them sellouts back in the day. They say sellouts because they didn't feel like they were staying true to the culture. So, like Kanye, that's a perfect example. So Kanye, he's a hip hop artist. Uh, well, that's how he started anyway. But Kanye, back in the day, he would have been considered a sellout with the music that he evolved into. He went from, you know, hip hop, and then when he's completely straight, but you evolved from the hip hop, and then I'm not even gonna use the word evolve, but moved over into the different genre of music mixing in with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? To attract the different masses of people. So some call them sellouts. Some people just they don't. But but lately in this new time, it's more mainstream hip hop artists, those that they would say are sellouts, than underground artists. Back in the day, it was more underground artists than mainstream artists. But now people start as mainstream because what's popular, what's everybody doing, what made him money, so they want to do this thing that made him like underground now to put themselves out. Uh, Mainstream artists, those are the ones that's getting signed by the record labels because record companies want to know, okay, they're not going to put money behind you if they don't think you're not gonna, if you can, the record companies are like this, okay, we're gonna choose this artist over this artist. If they got two artists to choose from, if one is underground and one is mainstream, like you're in the business to make money, so who are you gonna put out? That's why the record companies are assigning the mainstream artists because that they know that they can make their money back, and that's just that. Underground artists, to me, Kendrick, when he first came out, he was to me on the underground side, and it's underground artists that have made it big because it's still true hip hoppers and people that appreciate the art, the culture, and they appreciate folks who are coming out speaking the truth, who's got some substance behind their lyrics. That's what I'm saying, substance behind the lyrics. So yep. So that's all about. We'll talk about that some more on another time. This was a live strictly for the YSL, talking about the YSL, and yeah, this was strictly about that. Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. I just wanted to touch bases on those few points while we're waiting on the jury to make the decision. I was hoping that I was going to get some feedback on what y'all think. And if you go back and if you're watching it on the replay, comment as to how long you think the jury is going to be in there deliberating. And what do you think is going to be the outcome? All right. Tell me what you think. Be sure to subscribe. We got so much coming. I'm going to take a trip to Colombia. I'm going to take y'all with me. Be sure to subscribe. Click on the notification so you don't miss any of that. And yeah, like this video. Thanks for traveling with me. And In the name of hip hop, we are out. Peace.